Hello, it's Dawn coming to you from, right now it's sunny Florida. It might rain, who knows. Anyways, welcome everyone. It's a little bit before, about a minute before 7, so we're gonna just wait a couple of more minutes and let people start popping on. And I'll open up the comments right now. So if you're coming on, as always, please say hi and where you're from. And make sure that you share our video when we're done, as that will get you in the drawing for the cards that we're making. You'll get one of each of the cards. So pop on, it's 7 o'clock, and we'll just give it a few minutes and see who all else is out there. I can't speak. And we'll start here in a couple of minutes. So let me turn the comments over so I can see. Hi, Patricia, how are you? Welcome. Are you on Central Time out there? Hi, Lynette, how you doing? Hello, everyone. Oh, Tennessee, you're not too far from Florida. Hi, Rosalia. Welcome, welcome, everyone, to a Tuesday evening. Hopefully the weather is nice where you are living. Hope everyone's staying busy. I know I have. So, hello, Miss Denise. How are you? We've been having a lot of rain every afternoon and major thunderstorms. It's gotten really to the point that the dog doesn't even like it. I mean, they're so loud. And I think the other day they were hanging right on top of us or something. It was just really crazy. So we're just trying to keep busy. I had a leader summit that I went to. Well, I didn't go to it. It was supposed to be in New Orleans that Stampin' Up! Put on for us leaders at certain title levels. And so they had to do it virtually. And I will tell you what, they did an awesome job on putting that thing on. So I had to travel far. I had to go to my craft room and shut the door, tell my husband not to bother me. We started at 2 in the afternoon. And this was for people all around the world. So some of the people, I don't know if it was Australia or New Zealand, but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning for them. And some it was 6 in the morning, some it was midnight. It was crazy. But it was unbelievably well put together. And I think the part that I found most fascinating is that, you know, normally when you go to these conventions or summits, when you're in person and they break you down into smaller groups, or you go to breakout sessions, you know, you tend to go towards the people that you know, right? So the nice thing about this is that when we did our breakout sessions, we'd go to a general session, and then they break us into breakout sessions. We got to choose different topics and things. Then, and that was on Zoom, and then they broke us down into smaller groups, and it was really neat because it allowed me and everybody else, and I don't know how many people were in the room. It might have been 8, it could have been 20, I don't know. I think some of them were smaller, but the point is, I got to talk and meet demonstrators from all over the world. I mean, UK, Australia, I think New Zealand was there, Canada was there. I mean, and several of the groups that I went to. But it was really nice that we were able to speak with people that you normally wouldn't speak to. And here's what Stampin' Up! Did. And y'all probably have seen this posted. Let me grab one of my things. This is what they did. They sent all the leaders that went to the summit to, I'm going to show you the picture. Let me flip my camera down. Oh, here. 2 champagne glasses from Tiffany's. Can you believe that? 2 champagne glasses from Tiffany's. Unbelievable. So we got that. 2 of those. So we had a toast on the first day. Everybody brought their glasses and toasted. And then, so normally they would buy our lunch 1 or 2 of the days. they gave us a per diem and deposited money into our account for lunch. Now, is that not amazing or what? I'm telling you, this company, it's just unbelievable. So, there's a lot of changes that are getting ready to take place, and that's exciting. We do have a good promotion this month. If any of you out there are not a demonstrator and you have a long list of stamping items that you'd like to get, they are running a promotion for the month of September that for the $99, you get to choose your $125 in product. You're going to also get 2 stamp sets, Queen Anne's Lace and Stampin' with Love, I think it is. Anyways, you're getting 2 stamp sets. You're going to get a pack of rhinestones, embellishments. You also get your catalogs and all of that. And then you'll also receive 16 card bases, so that when you purchase the starter kit, that you have everything that you need to get up and start running, with the exception of you buying some ink and stuff like that, which you'd probably do with your $99. The other nice thing too, if you don't have the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss die machine, that is a mouthful. That's $120, so you can add that to your $99 order, and then just find something for $5. So I am really excited about that. And they, and I guess this is out there because they posted it on our website. So I'm just going to talk for a few more minutes until let more people pop on. They are also, and they're going to change our catalog year. So it's going to start, run from May 21st through, start next year, May through April. And here's the best part, you guys. They are going to be doing 2 separate celebrations, but they're shortening the months. So January and February will be a celebration, and then July and August will be a celebration. And the nice thing is that all of the stamps and paper and ink are all sourced in the United States, so we shouldn't have to worry about back orders and things of that nature. The dies and stuff are still done over in Asia because of the inexpensive labor, but so I'm really excited for all of that. So I just can't wait. But I'm really excited about the demonstrator promotion to join. And you don't have to teach classes. So don't feel like you have to do what I'm doing or teach a class. You can just join. I will tell you, I have about 32 people on my team. And I will tell you, probably 96% of them do it just for what we call the happy shopper or hobbyist. They just do it because they love to craft, and they get a discount every month. So you get a 20% discount off your orders. Then when you get to a certain level, that goes up to 25%. But anyways, if that's something you're interested in, you need to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to give you more information. It's a great, I think it's a fantastic offer that they're offering. So anyways, well, let's go ahead. It is 7:07, so we're going to go ahead and get started since we've got people here. Let me turn the camera down, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be making. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way first. What else was I going to tell? I was going to tell you all something else. Now I don't remember. I got so excited about the catalogs and the Stampin' promotion. Little things excite me. Okay, here's what we're going to be making. We're going to be making some fall cards. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, and then I'll pull this little guy up. There we go. This is using the Gilded Autumn, which I'm sure that you all have seen this paper. Let me get my camera right. There we go. And I'm using early espresso on this card with a piece of very vanilla, and then some of the brushed metallic cardstock. If y'all haven't seen that, you might want to think about ordering it because it's got a couple of copper, some of the brushed different, like a champagne, and then a little bit darker color. Hi, Amy Banks from the road. And but it's really nice. So that's what we're going to be using on this card, along with some other stuff, and I'll tell you what that is. And I'm sure you've seen this Gilded Autumn paper. I tell you what, this stuff is just absolutely, we used one of those. That's got copper in it. And, I mean, look at these pumpkins. They've got gold trim or copper, whatever it's just really, I just think that they've outdone themselves this year with this paper. So this is what we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in my trimmer. Let's move this out of the way, and I'll give you the directions as we go. So we're going to take a piece of early espresso. Now you could do this on a very vanilla card base if you wanted, but I thought now I'm not sure if this is too much here. I could have done the mint, but I don't know. I wanted to do that since the bottom was early espresso. So we're going to cut our cardstock at 4 1/4 because we want it to go the long way. So I'm going to bring my paper cutter in, and I know it's dark, so I apologize for that. So we're going to bring this over to the 4 1/4 mark, and we're going to get it lined up right about there. And you always want to make sure on the paper trimmer, always want to make sure you got your bottom lined up to the lines. And I love Stampin' Up's trimmer because it has the 1/4 inch marks here, and the arm opens up to 17 inches, and then you have your cutter and your scoring tool. So we're going to go ahead and cut this down. All right, and we're going to move this piece off to the side, and then we're going to turn this, and we're going to score this at 5 1/2 because that's 11, so we want to go half of that. So we're going to score that at 5 1/2, which is the gray one here. So we're going to score that, and this will be our card base that we're going to be using. All right, and then I'm also using, let me show you the, and then I'll give you the dimensions of the other things. So, all right, now I'm going to use my bone folder, and we're going to go ahead and give this a good crease. And we're going to set this off to the side because we don't need this right now. Now, I'm also using the, let me see, am I using it on this one? Here's a card stamp set, and I'm using Thank You for Being My Friend. If you don't have this, let me move over in the camera, sorry. If you don't have this stamp set, it's got 14 different sayings in here, and this is has almost a little bit of everything. Birthdays, thank you, congratulations, I made you a card because, you know, whatever. So that's what we're using, Thank You for Being My Friend. And this is a cling mount. And then I'm also using, because we're die cutting some leaves in different items, so I'm using this piece, this die from the Forever Flourishing. This goes with the Forever Fern. So I'm using this die here. Whoopsie. And then I'm also, and I tried to limit the dies, but I just had to do them all. I had to do several. And then this is from Poppy Moments, and I use this one and I use this one. So these are the two that I use from Poppy Moments, and you'll see those when we get ready to put that on the card. And then for the sentiment, I used the long narrow one here, the second one in from the middle from here. This is one, I call this 2 and 3. So I use this, the second and third one, which goes either way. Second and third one for our sentiment. Okay, so unfortunately I threw in a bunch of dies, but I really wanted to get the leaves and the flowers since it's fall. So I'm just going to put those off to the side. I went ahead and cut everything so not to hold everybody up. Now this is one of the pieces in the that brushed, and I'm not sure if this must be like a copper color. Man, now maybe it's not even copper. Maybe it's like a gold. But isn't that pretty? And let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, you know what? Do I not have my little piece? I don't have my piece for the inside, do I? Oh yeah, no I don't. That's my envelope. We're going to decorate that too. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now what I've done is I've cut the paper, the Designer Series paper, into 3 strips. And one of the ones I took the same paper, right, this design here, and just flipped one over. Okay, so these are going to be cut at 1 1/2 inches. So it's 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. So you're going to cut 3 of these at 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then what we're going to do, this is 3 3/4 by 5, and then we have a piece of Very Vanilla, which is, I'm sorry, wait a minute, this is not cut right. I got to trim this one down because it's 3 3. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go there. This one we need to trim down because I cut it at 4 and it should be at 3 3/4. So let's go ahead and pull our trimmer back in, and we're going to slice this little guy over to make him 5 inches. Yeah, we got to cut off 1/4. So we're going to cut this down. So this is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to cut that little piece off there. And then we'll move him over to 3 3/4 and get him lined up, and we'll just trim that up there. Okay, so that takes care of that. Get this out of the way. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach these pieces. And you can attach your pieces however you like, but I like to put all my stuff on and then layer it and then start working from the bottom up, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Tombow on the back. And the back of this is just as paper, so you don't have to worry about it not being able to stick. It's just like I don't want to say cardstock, but it kind of feels like that. So we'll put some of our liquid glue on here, and then we'll attach that to our piece of Very Vanilla. So, and we're going to have about 1/8 of an inch all around the edges. So I'll get that on there. And the one thing, and I say this every time, one thing about this glue that's nice is it does give you the ability to move it slightly if you've got it on there. So, hi Karen. That's okay. We just started. You just missed my talk about the new demo package that we're offering for joining Stampin' Up. So, okay. So the Very Vanilla is 4 and 5 1/4, and the brushed, I think this is copper or gold, I think. Anyways, 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so now I'm going to take my 3 pieces. Now, since I have 2 white pieces, right, I want to put the green in between to kind of separate the two. On the other card, I had this one on the left, but it really doesn't matter. So I think I'm going to go ahead and attach them. So these, again, are 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then just line them up how you want them. And I'll go ahead and add my glue. And these are I try to make the cards. I'm trying to make them easy to do without a lot of work. The biggest thing was, obviously die cutting. So have you all, did anybody purchase the new die cutting machine today? Now we only have the large one. The smaller one, hopefully will be available in a couple of months, but we don't know yet. So I definitely will get that one. I think it's going to be nice to have for traveling. And when we go in the RV, I should be able to do quite a bit of stuff in there. I won't be able to do all of our embossing folders, but I should be able to get, depending on what I want to make. Okay, so I'm placing one there, and I'm just eyeballing where I want these papers, right? So I'm just trying to eyeball. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay this one down, and then I'll add the middle one. I want to make sure I stay in the camera. I hate to cover up this pretty paper. We used this a couple weeks ago, right? It's so pretty, but, gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm just trying to pick this up with my tweezers so I won't get glue on my fingers, and I just did, so whatever. It's okay. All right, so we're going to attach this right here because I'm going to make sure I get this even. I'm going to make sure I've got the edges and the bottom lined up with the other one. So I'm going to lay that right about there. And see, I'm able to move my paper since I'm using this wonderful glue. All right, and then we're going to add this one into the center. So we'll go ahead and put some adhesive on this. Now I could use my Stampin Seal, but I don't know. I just think sometimes it's easier with this, actually. I do like the Stampin Seal. I've started liking it. It's actually started working for me, so that's a good thing. All right, and now we're going to place this one right in the center and try to get this lined up as even as possible. And if you know me, those that are new, I don't sweat over the small stuff. If it's not perfect, I don't worry about it because it's a handmade card, right? So all of our friends are expecting it not to be perfect. So, and let me tell you, you can tell that's the truth of my world. Okay. So now I cut. What I did was I took the leaves images that I showed you, and let me make sure I got them all out there. Yeah, I did. And I did mint macaron, and then I did a piece of the vellum cardstock. I don't know if you can see it because it's, let me see. Here, we'll put it on the dark card. That way you'll see it. The vellum cardstock. And then I did one of the brush pieces. And then this one here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put that behind my sentiment. And we will go from there. I thought I had another green piece, and I'm not sure what happened to it. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll work with what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece onto our card base, and then from here, we'll start building up the rest of our cards. So this is pretty. You can see it's a pretty easy card. I mean, it doesn't take long to put together outside of the cutting. But these were small enough that I was able to get them all on the cutting base and run them through at one time. So that worked out pretty well. So I'll go ahead and lay this on the early espresso, and we'll place that there. And now I'm going to just going to put these in here, and there's no rhyme or reason of how I'm doing it, but I'm going to use, let's see, let me figure out what I'm doing here. I think I'm going to put the vellum, well, maybe not since he's on the white piece. Maybe I'll do this and then put the vellum on top of it or off to the side. That way you might be able to see them some. I think we'll lay that like that, because our sentiment's going to go over that. And then this piece, I thought I had cut 2 of these. I may trim this down and put the other piece on the top. I think I'll put this piece probably about like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim, I think I'm going to trim right here, and I'm going to use that piece. All right, so I think I'm going to do that. Now I'm just going to use my glue dots. Now this one I'll go ahead and put adhesive on. I'm going to use my my Stampin Seal, because I can probably get that on here, because I want this to hold, since it's going to be the, if I can get it over here, hang on, now there we go. We'll put some of that on here, and I could put the glue dots, but I want this to be a little bit stronger. So, all right, so we're going to lay this right about here, and you know, you can do whatever you want. There's no, I'm not, you know, what I do is not necessarily the right way. You might find a different style that you want to do. All right, and then I'm going to put a glue dot on the back, and I'm just going to kind of roll it up a little bit with my finger, since this piece is small, but it's not going to be seen, so I'm not going to be too concerned about it. It's going to go behind the sentiment. So I'm just going to lay that off, just a little bit off of that, so that you'll still see it. And then the mint macaron, I'm going to put a glue dot on this as well, and that's going to help hold down the I just lost my train of thought there. Oh my gosh, I just went blank, you guys. You can tell I'm getting old. Vellum. Gosh darn, golly gee willikers. And I'm going to lay this right about here, and I'm hoping when I do my sentiment, which we're going to pop on there, see, I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to put this right about here, and that's going to hold that down, okay? All right. So that's that. Now we're going to come in. Let me move my glue dots out of the way. And we're going to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to use the early espresso. I thought about using the mint macaron, but I changed my mind. I said, no, I think I'll just stick with my early espresso. And we're going to do the thank you for being my friend. So we'll go ahead and ink this up. And I use those rectangle dies for this. So we'll go ahead and stamp this. Hopefully I've got it centered. I'm sitting down, which doesn't always help. All right, perfect. Okay, let's close this up. All right, and let me move this over here. Give me 1 second. Let me clean off so I can get to my chamois. Chamois got been a lot of love to that thing. All right, so all I'm going to do now is add this to this square, which has been die cut, and we're going to put that on there with some Stampin' Seal. We'll just go ahead and put a strip of that. All right, and then we're going to add this with some dimensionals, because you never have enough dimensionals, okay? So let me get those out. We'll put some of those on here. So are y'all having time to craft? I assume everybody does, since we're all in lockdown for the most part. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but we're still not, we don't go out and like we used to. It's just still not safe to do that. And so my husband's teaching online, so he is now home all the time. Usually he would go down to Lakeland. We have a house down there, and he'd stay down there 3 to 5 days a week, depending on his schedule. Now he's home all the time. So those of you on here that know me know that's driving me crazy, but it's okay. All right, so I'm just going to lay this right about here, and I'm going to lower it a little bit. Let me look at this and see. Yeah, because I've got my leaves too far in, and I want these to be seen. So I think I'm just going to place it. I think I'll place it right about there. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to place that right about there, and then I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to take adhere this little piece that I chopped off from the little green one. So we're going to take this and I'm going to attach that right here. Okay, probably could have trimmed it a little bit less, but that's okay. And then we're going to use some of our basket weave in metallic. This is the copper ribbon from that bundle. And we're just going to tie a little bow. And then that will pull everything together. So let's just, and we're going to use a glue dot to attach this. So I'm going to tie my bow. And normally it makes the loop, hang on a second, now I'm talking and we'll see how long it takes me to do this. It's going to be a little bit bigger than what I want. So normally I just get it going and then I start pulling the loops down to make it a little bit smaller. And then you just keep tightening it and making it smaller, and then you tighten it. So let me get it tighter so we can work with it. And then I'm going to adjust it to the size that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it. All right, and then here we just hold the knot in the center and just keep pulling until you get it where you want it. And that's still too much. And I always pull it a little bit shorter than what I actually want, because by the time I pull it to tighten it, it makes the bow bigger. And I think that looks good. So I'm just going to kind of fluff this with my fingers, and we'll snip this and get that down here. We'll cut a little bit of a tail. I don't want too big of tails because it might overshadow. So let's see, we may have to trim it down some more. All right, and then we'll put a glue dot on the back of this little guy, and we'll pop him right there. And then I'm going to put him down right below this green leaf, so it looks like it's there. There we go. I think that looks good. I think the tails are fine. So there we go. There's that card. Isn't that pretty? Very quick and easy card, actually. I mean, the longest part was really running the stuff through the die, but I was able to get those 3 items through the machine at the same time, so it really didn't take that long. And then, of course, you'll put a piece of very vanilla on the inside, which I didn't do on this one. This one I did, and I just stamped one of the leaves with early espresso, and I kind of stamped off just a little bit. And then the envelope, I stamped the mint macaron. I tried to do the rolling technique, but I wasn't really too keen on that. So on this one, I think we'll just stamp, I'll do it later. So there's the card for that one. What do y'all think? Oops, let me get over here. Oh, thanks for sharing. And don't forget, you all who are just joining us, to leave a comment and share the video if you don't mind, and then your name will go in a drawing. And last week, Dana McKellen, Dana Finnemore McKellen, if you're on, if you will message me with your mailing address, then you will get one each of the cards from last week. All right, so there's our first card. I hope you've enjoyed that one. And let's move on to the next one. So let me shuffle some things right out of the way. And for those that are just coming on, if you go back and watch the replay, I gave you all the measurements. And I talked about a promotion that Stampin' Up! Is offering if you decide to join and become a demonstrator. So just to let you know, you might want to go back and look at that. Okay, now on this one, we are using the Gather Together stamp set and the Gathered Leaves. All right, and then this is the card that I made, and I copied this, and I did not get the girl's name, but I got it off of Pinterest. But I like this because, oh, let me turn it, I'm sorry, let me get it down where y'all can see. This is Cajun Craze Crumb Cake, and then of course we're using some of that paper again, and then I die cut the leaves. And then underneath is where you can put your writing, your sentiment. And what I did when I trimmed the paper, I had this little piece left over which fit perfectly for the inside of my card. So that is our card, and that's what we're going to be making. Okay, so again, I've already pre-cut and stamped these leaves because I knew it would take forever. So I went ahead and did that. And I did all the embossing and everything. So, all right, so here we go. We have a piece of, for your card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, that's our card base. And then we're going to come in with a piece of Crumb Cake, which is 4 by 5 1/4. This is 5 1/2, 5 1/4. And I use the, yeah, I really love this, the greenery embossing folders. You know, there's 2 in here. We have this one, and that's the one that I used. Now, what you have to do, because it is smaller, I just loaded it in and lined it up to the edge, okay, and ran it through like that. and then I brought it back out, and then all I did was stick it in like that with the last two rows, and I put it through the die cutting machine this way so it would go through. Okay, let me get my camera over. I'm sorry, I need to move it over some. There we go. So that's how I did. I did the last two rows and just ran it through the machine that way. But I really like these. I haven't used this one yet, so I need to work on a card for this one. So maybe I'll do that for the next week or so. What kind of cards would y'all like to see? Are you ready for the holiday? Are you still into fall, or should we start on Christmas and the holidays? All right, so this piece here is going to go here. Now, what I did with the next piece, which is right here, this is Cajun Craze as well, and this piece is 3 by 6. Okay, so it's 3 inches by 6, and then you're going to score one end at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then what I did is I placed it on the back because it blends in, so no one's really going to see that right there. You probably can't even see it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive and attach this piece to my card because we can go ahead and knock that out. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. I think if I can get these done in a reasonable amount of time, I may start doing 3 cards. Now, I try to keep you guys to an hour because I know that there's, you know, some of you all are still working and it's dinner time in the central part, and out west it's earlier. So I try to keep it to an hour, but if I can do that and spend maybe an hour and 15 or hour and 20 minutes, then I might do that. So I'm not sure yet. I'll let y'all know. I'll just surprise you. Okay, so we're going to add this is Crumb Cake, and this is, again, it's at 4 by 5 1/4. Now this piece, we're going to go ahead and fold this over, and I'm going to score, I've already scored it, I'm sorry. I'm going to burnish this because I want to get a good crease on this. Now, I didn't bring my tear and tape, which you probably could do tear and tape, but I'll just use my Stampin' Seal. It should be fine. So let me move the scissors out of the way. All of a sudden you get all the stuff is in your way. All right, so I'm just going to put this Stampin' Seal right here, so make sure that we have some good adhesive there to hold it. All right, and then I'm just going to, what I did really is I just took this and I bent my card up and laid this down to where I got it centered and then just pushed it down, okay? I know it's going to be a little bit hard, but I want to be able to see, make sure I got this somewhat centered, and I think that's good. And so I just laid this down. Once I've got it on there, I just push that down, and then we're good. There we go. All right, so now the next thing is we're going to attach this piece of that designer series paper, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way, but got acorns on there. This is just such a gorgeous paper. Now this is cut at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So think about this. This without not counting that 1/2 inch. This is 5 1/2 by 3, right? So this is 5 1/2 by 3. So it's 6 by 3, and then we're going to cut this down. So this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. All right. So we've got that. So we're going to go ahead and attach this piece. Now look at that. That's a really pretty piece. That's just some nice brown, the early espresso and the crumb cake colors. So this back side of the paper would make a good masculine card. You know, we're always struggling for making masculine cards. So this paper, some of this would be good for that. Now my glue doesn't, hang on, my glue doesn't want to come out. What is wrong with you? Oh, he's coming. Now he's coming. All right, so we will attach this piece to the front, and again, you can see these cards are going pretty quickly. On this particular card, this one took a little bit longer because the leaves I did have to cut. Of course, I was cutting for 2, right, for this card and the one I was doing. So you're just going to lay this on here, and of course, you'll have that border. All right, and then what I did was I used the 1 3/4 circle punch. I hope that's still in the works. I think it is. And I stamped it in Cajun Craze, and I used the Gather Together Sentiment, okay? And then I took the different leaves that we have in here. Now, 2 of these, or 3 of these, let me show you. So I cut this one just out of Cajun Craze using this here. And then I also stamped it on Crumb Cake, and cut it out with this one. All right, so we're going to layer those. And then I did this one. I just, this one here, ran that through so it embossed the leaf. And then one of these, or two of these I did, and I was just playing with it to see. Let's do this one. This one here, I laid this in my ink pad upside down to get ink on it. And then I laid it on top of the cardstock and ran it through the die cutting machine. So it kind of gave it the ink embossed look. I wasn't sure if I liked that or not. This one's not too bad. So anyways, that's what I used to get those leaves cut. So we're going to go ahead and put our circle on here first because I want to lay everything onto that circle. So we're going to pop that up on dimensionals, and we'll just use probably just 2. That's probably all we need. Let me get my papers out of the way. And I left, when I stamped and when I punched the sentiment out, I punched it with the having a little bit more space at the bottom because I knew I wanted to put my leaves right here. And again, I'm pushing this off to the side just a little bit, so I'm going to lay it right about there. And then I'm just going to start gluing my stuff together. So since this is plain, I'm going to go ahead and use this as my back, and then I'm going to add this on top, and I'm going to add some glue in just a second. So I'm going to probably push this up a little bit and maybe off-centered so you can see it underneath. And then I'm just going to add these in between. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here, and we'll get this on the Cajun Craze. And see how things go much easier when you have your stuff organized? Yeah, I don't have to get up. So, hello from North Carolina. And so anyways, I'm just going to lay this off. I'm just off centering it. There's no right or wrong way. I'm just going to put it on here because I want that leaf to show from underneath as well. So I just glued him on there. And then I'm going to take the Crumb Cake, the plain one, and I'm just going to attach him. I don't know why I always do y'all refer to your stamps as him or her? I do that all the time, and I'm not sure why I do that. I don't know. Y'all can respond to that one. I'd like to know. So, all right. So, and what you can see on this card, what we're going to do, we're going to add ribbon. So I'll add ribbon to it so that it's going to cover up a lot of these things right here. So I'm just going to put this guy off here, put him right about there, just to add some texture and some different colors. And then I think I'm going to put this guy, let me see, I did that one. Let's use this maple guy because I haven't done this one. And I'm going to put him right about here. Maybe I'll put him underneath. Let's put him underneath. That's a little bit much to show. So I think I'll put him under here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I'm going to pop up this just a little bit. Let me put some adhesive on. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I get the right, oopsie, side. So I want this side here to put some adhesive. And then we'll tuck this under the Crumb Cake. All right, and these I just use Very Vanilla, Crumb Cake, and the Cajun Craze. So we're just going to stick that guy in there. So we've got a bunch of leaves, right? So we're going to attach, did I add, let me see if did I do it? I don't think I did a dimensional. No, I didn't, because this is already popped up. So we're just going to put some adhesive on the back of this. So we'll do that and make sure that it gets stuck really well. And we'll attach that. And that's why I left the thing right there. So I don't want it too much because I don't want to cover up my sentiment. So let me see how I'm going to turn my little guys here. I think we'll do it like that. I think I will put a dimensional just to hold it up right underneath so it doesn't, just in case it wants to fall down. So I'm going to put one on each side. And then that way it will help hold it in place. All right, so we're just going to pop these off. And I have an extra leaf here, so we can always put that on the inside. All right, and I'm just going to attach that. I'll probably just put it right about like that. Okay. All right, so we've got that there. And now I'm going to come back with our, let's hold off on the ribbon. We'll do that in just a second. All right, now I'm bringing in a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside. And this is 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. So it's going to go right under here so you won't see it. And I'm going to stamp it with Cajun Craze. I think I'm going to, no, I'm not, because well, let me think about this for a second. I'm going to stamp the saying that says, So glad to have you in my life. And I'm going to put this towards the top. That way it gives you room to write your message, you know, whatever you want to write to your friend, okay? Or loved one. All right, so let's set that over there. Wow, these are going pretty fast. Y'all might have an early night tonight. Now, I have this piece here, and I put that on the bottom to kind of bring the designer paper onto the inside of the card. And I think that looks nice. I was debating if I want to put this leaf here, but I don't think I want to do that. So let's go ahead and just add this. So we'll add that to the bottom part of our very vanilla sheet. And this is just one of the pieces when you cut that paper. It just happens to be the size that you can use. So we got lucky with that one. And I'm just going to lay it down here. I think I'll leave a little bit of a border just so it does show that it's a little different, because it does have that cream background, so that might be a little weird. But I think that'll be fine. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive. And I'm going to put this on here just really good around the edges. I don't want to put a lot on the inside because that's where you'll write your message. And or you can write it before you glue it down, I guess, when you make your card. But I'll go ahead and attach that, and I'll lay it right up to the, butt it up to the crumb cake, and got it in the center. I have it right in the center of the Cajun Craze. All right, and then we'll push that down and let that sit for just a second. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Oh, whoa, I zoomed in good, didn't I? Usually it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Hang on a minute. Now I don't want to cooperate. Hold on. Oh, great. Now I got y'all zoomed in. Let's see if I can zoom it out. There we go. I tell you, some days it works and some days it doesn't. Okay, let me see. I'll move it up. All right, so there's the inside of our card, and then there it is. Isn't that pretty? I thought this was a really neat... Oh, we got to add our ribbon because we have to cover that up. All right, so I'm using the cinnamon cider and one of the new in colors. So we're going to tie a bow with this one. We're going to do the same thing that we did on the other one. So I'm going to just tie some loops, and we'll work it down to get to the size that we want. And then we'll go from there. And this one's going to be twisted. So give me just a second. Let's start again. Don't want to have any twisted loops. I have a bow maker, but I don't use that as much as I used to. I guess because I've gotten much better in the years of trying to tie bows. I remember one class years ago, we had a lady, none of us could tie bows, and I don't even remember what we were doing. And she was, let me start all over. And she was so kind. She tied everybody's bows that night. I thought, oh my gosh, she was a saint. She was a saint to tie all of our bows. So anyways, okay, so I'm going to get this pulled in here. There we go. And now I'll start pulling it down. I'm going to tighten it, and then I'll just work backwards to get my size. And this one I'll probably leave a little bit bigger because we have a little bit bigger space. So let's just try to get... So y'all share with me, how good are you at tying? Do you tie pretty good bows? Do you like tying bows? I know some people make it look like it's just a piece of cake, right? I think that'll work. I think that's a good size. I'm going to fluff my, you know, when you pull on these things, it flattens your loops. So I'm going to tighten, I'm going to fluff up my loops here in a minute. So I'm getting better at them. So we're going to do a little fluffing here. I just poke on them. All right, and then we're going to take another glue dot. You know, how do you live without these things? You know, I swear. We should be so fortunate to be able to come up and design something and make a gazillion dollars on glue dots, right? Who would have thought? So I'm just going to put a glue dot on there. I think one should hold it. And I'm going to lay that right over, whoopsie. I'm just going to lay it in this area so it kind of covers up a lot of those pieces, but I don't want to cover up the sentiment. So I'm just going to tack it on there like that. And then I can always adjust this a little bit if I need to. Let's see. I think I need to trim this. I don't like that tail that long. So let's cut him down a little bit. Whoops. Hang on. We'll do a little bit there. And let's cut this guy a little bit. There we go. For some reason, I don't like the loops too long. But some people have lots of, they look nice with big, with long tails. All right. So I am going to, now that I cut it, I don't like my loops that big. All right. See, now I'm becoming trying to be the perfectionist. All right, let's poof that guy up. And there we go. There is our second card for the evening. See, I could have done 3 tonight because we are 15 minutes early. All right, there's the one card. And here's the inside of that again. If I can zoom out, let me see if I can zoom this sucker out. There we go. There we go. All right, so there's the one card, and then here is the other one that we made. So make sure that you comment and share the video. I didn't put anything on this one. And your name will go in the drawing for each one of these cards. You'll get those mailed to you next week. And I do owe Denise hers, and they will, our printer died, so I've got to get my neighbor to print out the shipping label. So anyways, heck no, you don't do bows. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, bows have always been a challenge for me, but I'm getting better. The more I do it, the more I practice at it, it gets better. And I know, and I think I mentioned this a week or 2 ago, one of my customers had taught me how to do bunny ears. I don't have children, so I never had to worry about tying bows. And the bunny ears really work. So if y'all aren't familiar with that, you make bunny ears, right? You go like this. So you have your loops. Let me get my loops. Get my fingers out of the way. So you have your loops, right? So they're bunny ears, and then you just flip them over. This is really the easiest way. And then pull it through, and then tighten it. And then there's your bow. Well, if I get my tails out of the way. See? Then you make a bow. So that might be a bit, little bit better way to do it. The bunny ears. See? All right, everyone. Thank you so much. See, when I'm organized, I can get you in and out in no time. So thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. I know you're waiting patiently, Denise. Thank you for taking time from your Tuesday to spend time with me. And if you would like to join my team, I would love to have you. I have demonstrators from Michigan, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and of course here in Florida. It's a great time if you have a major wish list to get a lot of items and get the several items that Stampin' Up! Is giving you for free. So keep that in mind. If you know somebody that might be interested, please pass along my name. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to shop with me, I have a shopping code. It's also on my blog. So thank you again, everyone. Have a great evening, and I will see you next week. And if you'd like to let me know what kind of cards you'd like me to make, any type of either holiday or any certain things, I'll do my best to try to accommodate you. And if Dana Fenimore in McKellen is on, please send me your address, as you will get last week's cards. Okie doke, everyone. Thank you so much for spending Tuesday evening with me. Have a great evening, and I'll see you next Tuesday evening. Thanks now.